Hi, welcome again to this session. My name is Opeyemi Olasunkanmi. Today we are looking at another topic which is conditional formatting. In our last sessions, in one of them we looked at how to format our data, but in this particular session we are going further and looking at some of the more advanced way of formatting our data. So conditional formatting actually help us to get some information from the data by just looking at that data at a glance. So let's look at it. So this is freight charges for this particular column. So our goal is that we want to be able to know if a particular freight charge is less than 20. So how can we know that at a glance? So we can do many things, but one of the easiest way to achieve that is by using conditional formatting. So let's click on the cell or the column that we want to work with, and then let's go to conditional formatting. So in the home tab, under the style group, you will see conditional formatting. So when we click on conditional formatting, it is going to show us a lot of things. You can see highlight cell rules. What this one is saying is that anything we make as our rule is going to be shown by a form of highlighting. You can take top bottom rules, you can use data bars, you can use color scales, you can use icon sets, and you can even design our own rule. And you can clear the rules, you can manage the rules. So usually you are going to be using more of these highlights and then more of these top bottom rules. And that is why both of them are put at the topmost part of the options. So let's start with highlight cell rules. So when you click on this, it gives all these options. So that's greater than, less than, between, equal to. If you want to look at a text, you can say, okay, a text that contains a date occurring probably between a duplicate value. So we are going to be using this a lot too when we are handling duplicate values. So let's look at it. So in this particular task, we want to look at the freight charges that are less than 20. So we click on less than, so 20, and then we want to color it with what? So I prefer this color, but we can also choose other colors, or let's say red. So but I didn't like this. I will use this. Good. So press OK. Now, when you look at this particular column now, by just looking at this column, we can have an idea that, oh, this particular one is below 20, this is below 20, so that we can have an idea of what a particular value represents without having to even look at what the value is. You can see that everywhere we have lesser than 20, everything is painted in that color. So assuming we want to remove this, how do we go about it? Just come to conditional formatting, and then clear rules, and then come here and then clear rules from selected cells. So assuming there are like several rules, you may have to click on a particular cell or a particular column so that you can clear that particular rule. However, if you want to clear all the rules from the entire sheet at a time, just click on this and then you can see that. So let us look at another option. Let's go there again. Let's look at highlight cells again. Let's look at duplicate values. So let's click on duplicate, So if there are duplicate values, we want to see this. So all these values here are duplicated, but we cannot work with this because these are normal values. We expect them to have some duplicates. So when we want to use duplicate value like this, we want to use a particular column where we do not expect a duplicate value. And let's look at that kind of example here. Let me remove this particular rule. So clear rules. For example, let's look at other ID. Let's look at other ID. So this is other ID here. Each order is unique. So we do not expect a particular order. We do not expect two orders to have the same order ID. So if there are two other IDs here, then most probably they are duplicated. So let's apply conditional formatting here and see what we have. So duplicate values. So use the same color, write this color, and then I click on it. So if you look at this, you can see there is no K, there's only these duplicates, and these are not part of the original data set. They are just 0 and 0 that we put here. So you can see that it was able to pick these two, and we can see that these are duplicate values. So when we are trying to remove duplicate values from Excel, this is one of the best approach using the conditional formatting. Say still under this, let us do one more task. So let us remove that particular one. So let's start again. So let's say values between, so between, oh, let's say between 1000 and 4000. So click on it, then you can see. So assuming we have a particular range of the order ID that we want to check. So probably they said, okay, the previous products, some of them had issue, and so we want to know the customers who got those particular products. And we were able to target those particular products to a particular order range, probably from the order from 200 to 300. Then you can use this kind of method to quickly see and highlight all of those particular orders and have an idea of how things are going on as related to them. So there are so many ways through which we can use conditional formatting, and we cannot exhaust everything in one video. Rather, the more you join projects, you work on your own and you practice, the more you are going to become more familiar with them. So let's plug these rules. So let's look at another example. So let's look at the bottom rows. So let's go to the freight charges again. So this is the freight charges. Let's click on it. Let's look at this top bottom row. So you can look at the top 10. So if you want to know the customers who paid the top 10 freight charges, so you can just click on this and you can see we have that. So you can see now. So those are those customers. You can see now. So and we can actually increase it. Assuming we want to increase it, you can just manage rule. So you stop them and you can say edit rule. So if you edit this rule, you can say top 20, and then we have increased it like that. So if you go through it, you that it has increased to 20. Good. So these are several ways through which we can use conditional formatting. Now let's clear this rule. Another way is you can use icon. So if you use icon, let's use this particular icon. So what this is telling us is that for this particular column, when you see an horizontal arrow like this, that is like the average. When you see the arrow pointing down, it is telling us that this value is below average. And we see a value that is pointing up, we see that this value is above average. So by looking at this, you can just see that okay, this particular value is above average, this one is average, and this ones here, all of these ones here are below average. So there are so many ways through which you can do conditional formatting. Another thing is that you can also do more by looking at more rules. So with more rules, we can even add our own formula and do a whole lot of things. So I think at this point, I will stop here, and as we continue with some of our projects that we'll be doing, we are going to become more familiar with these concepts. So please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and press the notification icon so that when we release new free videos like this, you can always be notified and have access to them.